Hello, everyone. Welcome to Season 2 of the Sam Podcast. We'll be talking about careers this season with me, Mr. Sam. Today, we have a very special guest joining us, someone who has spent over a decade flying cargo aircraft around the world. Please welcome Ms. Rachel Adams, a professional cargo pilot and aviation instructor. Rachel, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sam. I'm thrilled to be here. Talking about cargo flying is something I've always enjoyed because it's a unique part of the aviation world that many people don't fully understand.
I completely agree. Most people think of pilots only flying passengers, but cargo pilots are just as important, if not more critical in some ways. Let's start simple. Rachel, what exactly does a cargo pilot do?
Well, at the core, a cargo pilot flies planes that transport goods instead of passengers. That could include anything from electronics, medical supplies, and food to large machinery. Some cargo flights are scheduled, like UPS or FedEx daily deliveries, while others are special charters, moving oversized or urgent cargo.
So it's not just flying at night with empty cabins, it's a lot more complex than that.
Absolutely. There's a common myth that cargo flying is easy because there are no passengers to worry about. But in reality, it's a high responsibility job. You're handling valuable cargo, strict deadlines, and sometimes dangerous or fragile items.
Interesting. And do cargo pilots fly both small and large aircraft?
Yes, cargo operations range from small turboprops that carry a few hundred kilograms to massive jets like Boeing 747 freighters, which can carry hundreds of tons of cargo. The principles of flying are the same, but the scale changes everything from pre-flight planning to loading procedures.
That's where I kind of disagree with popular opinion. People often say cargo pilots have an easier life because there are no passenger complaints, no crying babies. Do you think that's true?
Oh, definitely not. That's one of the biggest misconceptions. While you don't have passengers, cargo pilots deal with strict schedules, weight limits, center of gravity calculations, and sometimes dangerous goods. One mistake can cost millions of dollars or even lives if safety protocols aren't followed.
All right, so it's stressful in a different way. But what about lifestyle? Many cargo flights are at night. Some even call them the night job. Is that true?
Yes, a lot of cargo flying happens at night to ensure goods arrive for daytime deliveries. Night operations are common because airports are less congested, which allows for faster turnaround. But that can disrupt sleep, social life, and even health if not managed properly.
Sounds tough. And what about pay? Do cargo pilots earn more or less than passenger airline pilots?
That's a good question. It depends on experience, type of aircraft, and airline. Large cargo operators like FedEx, UPS, or DHL pay competitive salaries, often similar to mainline passenger airlines, but regional or smaller cargo companies may pay less. Also, seniority plays a huge role in pay progression.
Okay, let's get controversial here. Some people argue cargo pilots are undervalued because the work is behind the scenes. Do you agree?
I do, to an extent. Cargo pilots don't get the same recognition as passenger pilots because the general public doesn't see what they do. But within the aviation industry, their skills and experience are highly respected. Some might not be in the media, but everyone in the airline world knows how challenging cargo operations can be.
Interesting. So there's respect among peers, but not much public fame.
Exactly. Fame isn't the goal. Reliability and precision are.
Let's talk about the actual flying. Is it harder to fly cargo planes compared to passenger aircraft?
That's a nuanced question. Technically, the flight controls and systems are similar, but cargo flights often require additional calculations. Weight distribution is critical. If the cargo isn't loaded correctly, it can affect stability and performance. You also might deal with oversized or hazardous cargo that requires extra precautions.
So cargo pilots need to be excellent at math and physics, more so than passenger pilots in some cases.
Yes, they need to calculate center of gravity, takeoff and landing distances, fuel burn, and more every single flight. Even a small mistake in cargo weight distribution can be very serious.
That's impressive. Now, here's a question I've been thinking about. Some cargo pilots fly alone or with only one co-pilot. Passenger flights have a bigger crew and cabin crew support.
Does that make cargo flying lonelier or more stressful?
It can be both. There's no fewer people in the cockpit, means you have more responsibility and autonomy, but also less social support. Many cargo pilots enjoy that independence, but it's not for everyone. Long flights over oceans or sparsely populated areas can feel isolating.
Ah, so personality matters a lot. You need someone who enjoys independence and can stay focused for hours.
Exactly. And you need excellent problem-solving skills, because you might encounter situations where you can't immediately call ground support.
Speaking of support, do cargo pilots have different regulations compared to passenger pilots?
The basic flight regulations are the same: air traffic control, airspace rules, instrument ratings, etc. But there are additional operational rules for cargo, especially if you carry hazardous goods, live animals, or oversized cargo. Special permits may be required.
Okay, here's another controversial point. Some people argue cargo pilots are an easier career path because they don't deal with passenger complaints, medical emergencies, or seating conflicts. What do you think?
That's a common myth. Passenger issues may be absent, but cargo flying introduces its own challenges. You're managing schedules, complex loads, night flights, and sometimes remote airports with limited ground support. The margin for error is very small.
So stress exists, just in a different form. But what about training? Do cargo pilots need special training beyond regular airline pilot training?
Yes, cargo-specific training focuses on loading procedures, hazardous materials handling, long-haul operations without cabin crew, and sometimes even security protocols for high-value shipments. Some cargo airlines also train pilots in unusual approaches for difficult or remote airports.
Ah, so the job is technically demanding. What about career growth? Do cargo pilots easily move to passenger airlines?
It's possible, but not always easy. Experience counts, but passenger airlines often prioritize candidates who have passenger flight experience. But senior cargo pilots are very valuable because they have thousands of hours on large jets and are highly experienced in operational precision.
So cargo flying can be both a career destination and a stepping stone.
Exactly. Some pilots love cargo for the autonomy and challenge, others use it to gain experience before moving to passenger airlines.
What about lifestyle differences? Are cargo pilots more likely to work nights and weekends?
Yes, cargo schedules often require night shifts, weekends, and even holidays, especially for time-sensitive deliveries. That can affect family life, but many pilots adapt over time.
I can imagine. And some cargo flights are international, right? That must add jet lag and time zone challenges.
Absolutely. International cargo flights are common, especially for large freight companies. You need to manage fatigue carefully and adhere strictly to duty hour regulations.
Duty hour regulations. That's interesting. So even though you're flying cargo, there are limits to how many hours you can fly consecutively.
Yes, safety is always the top priority. Regulations limit flight hours, mandate rest periods, and require careful tracking of duty time. This ensures pilots stay alert and reduce risk of fatigue-related errors.
Ah, safety really is universal, whether passengers are on board or not.
Exactly. And that's why cargo pilots often undergo regular simulator training, emergency drills, and recurrent checks.
Now, let's talk about public perception. Cargo pilots are rarely in the news. Do you think that affects morale?
It can, but most cargo pilots aren't in it for recognition. The reward comes from knowing you're keeping the global economy moving, delivering critical supplies, medical shipments, and urgent goods. That sense of purpose is huge.
I like that. Purpose over fame. And what's the most rewarding part of flying cargo, in your opinion?
For me, it's knowing that something you flew might save lives or support entire industries. I've flown medical supplies during emergencies, high-value equipment, and humanitarian aid. That's incredibly satisfying.
Wow, that's powerful. So cargo pilots are invisible heroes in a way.
Exactly. Invisible, but very important.
Before we wrap up, Rachel, any advice for listeners who dream of becoming cargo pilots?
Yes, focus on strong flight training, build experience with different aircraft, be prepared for night operations, and embrace flexibility. Most importantly, love flying, not just the idea of flying. Passion will carry you through challenges.
Patience, passion, and preparation. Got it. That's a lesson for life, not just aviation.
Exactly.
Rachel, thank you for this lively, insightful, and even slightly argumentative discussion about cargo pilots. I think our listeners learned a lot about this hidden but vital part of aviation.
Thank you, Mr. Sam. I enjoyed our conversation. Cargo flying deserves recognition, and it was great to share that.
To our listeners, we hope this episode opened your eyes to the world of cargo pilots, their challenges, rewards, and the incredible responsibility they carry.
Yes, remember, behind every package, there's a pilot ensuring it gets to its destination safely.
Thank you for listening to the SAM Podcast. Stay curious, keep learning, and we'll see you next episode.
Goodbye, everyone.